Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome to Season 3, Episode 44 of the FIFA Flow Podcast. Guys, today we're going to just be talking about the Champions League. I did mention on my last podcast that we would have had a podcast on Thursday just specifically talking about the Champions League, and then another one yesterday specifically talking about football news. However, I felt like the Champions League one was a bit like it would have been too short. I guess yes, we would have made some predictions, but I think we can still fit that in this video. We're gonna talk about league games as well because there's only 3 league games I want to talk about today. Like I didn't really watch any of the other ones. I just watched the highlights of the 3 we're gonna talk about today. And then of course just the football news, mainly PSG, but there's some other news. I still want to do another like video where I specifically only do football news because I know there's so much more. See how there's like one here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There's 15 tabs of Twitter news here. About half of them are like 1/3 of them, or like no, 2/4 is half. What am I saying? Like about 1/3 of them is like PSG, about 2/3 PSG, just about PSG news. But there's for sure so much, at least double or triple the amount of news of this, like more that I could be talking about, but I just don't, because then the podcast will be 2 hours long and stuff. So for that reason, I kind of want to do a separate video based off only talking about Twitter news. I think actually I believe this Friday I have school off, but if the weather is good, I might go play some football. But if it's not good, then maybe on Friday I'll do a Twitter, like a football news podcast, like specifically talking about football news. And unfortunately, it does look like the weather is not good. I mean, I think it was last Friday, the weather was not good either. Or it said it was going to be raining like the whole day, but man, the weather turns like, it was sunny in it. It was sunny in it, if you know, you know. But yeah, we'll see until Friday. But yeah, let's just get right into the podcast. Let's start it off with the Champions League. Let's start it off big with the Champions League, then go on to make our predictions for the Champions League. Let's go ahead, get the FIFA Flow podcast notes out, the notepad. So yeah, let's just go ahead and talk right into it. So we already talked about the Man City versus Bayern game. If you haven't heard me talk about that, make sure to go watch the other video, guys. This video here, 47 views, one of the best videos ever in my opinion. I think we went into depth about a lot of stuff. So if you like we talked about the Man City Bayern game, we talked a lot about the PSG game. So I highly recommend watching this one. I appreciate it a lot as well. So yeah, this video was a banger. I really went into depth and stuff. And yeah, of course, I already talked about the PSG versus Bayern game, or the City versus Bayern game there. So I don't know if I'll be talking about it really today. But yeah, let's just but like we'll just do like a quick summary, guys. As I said, the way that Man City play, guys, like as I always mention, Bayern are a team that they like to press, and maybe not all the time press, but they're a very drop back defensive team. And when I mean presses, they have like the way they mark. They try to mark places well. Like they try to mark to isolate like a player in one side of the pitch, in one area of the pitch, and not let them like get past. And they're also a very physical team as well. But when you look at a team like Manchester City, Man City are also the only way to counter a team like Bayern, who press, who isolate, who drop back defense. Not drop back as much as Atletico de Madrid, not like those rats, but they still have a lot of defenders back. The only way to counter Bayern is, one, you have that physical presence as well, and players who have that, of course, Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones, Rodri, Nathan Ake. I want to talk about him as well. Ruben Diaz, Akanji, Ederson, or not, what am I saying? Not Ederson, but the other players like Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, and then this whole back line over here. Like the 3 center backs in the midfield, they have like a physical presence. So only way to counter like a Bayern, who are an isolation team, drop back, and physical team, is one, have that physical presence like these players I just mentioned, And then two, I'd say is like a huge factor the is the passing game, and that's why I always say La Liga is so much clear of Premier League, not in terms of in like economically and stuff, but in terms of the tactics, the technical ability, the passing game. I always say this. We will be talking about the Madrid game later today and the PSG game in a bit, and you can just tell that like especially the way that Madrid play, man, is like the passing game makes like it stops the opponent. It makes the opponent move more, which causes them to drain energy, drains the opponent. Um, and like just the way there's no need to always push for that goal. Take the time, make that passing game, and after a few passes you're gonna start not just after a few passes, but when you have a good chemistry within the team, like teams like PSG don't have that. That's why we kind of suck. But when you have that chemistry, like Man City and like Bayern, or not like Bayern, like Man City, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, you start to recognize players around you, and when you recognize players around you, the passing game becomes easier. And what I mean by that is like you can start you start to what the next player is gonna do. So for instance, like you see Erling Haaland, he drops back, he passes it to or Kevin De Bruyne for instance, he John Stones gets the ball, passes it to De Bruyne. He sees Haaland, he either chips it over Haaland because he knows how Haaland plays. He just runs through the defense, and then on top of that, he does like a 1-2, like he passes it to Haaland. Haaland passes it back. Kevin De Bruyne passed to Haaland. He makes that run. Haaland passes back and scores. So you start to recognize players around you after a while, and that's why teams like Barcelona, Madrid, and Man City, and sometimes Arsenal as well, are very good at that because they recognize players around them. They have connection, the passion as well. And as I mentioned, the passing game, like the reason why the passing game is so good is because it's so effective is due to how much it drains your opponents. And after you recognize the players around you, the connection, you start to get better at the passing game becomes easier, and you hold more possession. You find those creative opportunities like Real Madrid do every single game, every single year for the past decade. Like during especially during that Ronaldo era, you can see the connection between, like, everybody knew exactly what Marcelo, what Modric, Cruz, Casemiro, uh, Carvajal, Benzema, Bale, they knew what exactly each other's next move, and for that reason, they were able to play that pass and go um, tactics so efficiently. So Man City are a team who are able to do that, and that is especially due to the manager, the management of Pep Guardiola, of course, coming from Barcelona, and also like retrieving this information by Johan Cruyff as well. Johan Cruyff, of course, being one of Pep's idols in the tactical management like role for Pep. Um, Johan Cruyff was one of his idols, and yeah, for that reason, he kind of he teaches his players to do that. Of course, you see it with Kevin De Bruyne, with Bernardo Silva, with Rodri, with Haaland, of course, with Ake, and of course, especially at Barcelona. Of course, we had to see that with Messi there, Xavi, Iniesta, and players like them. So for that reason, yeah, of course, the only ways to counter Bayern are, of course, the passing game, and Man City are a team who are very, very strong and efficient at doing that. And of course, because of the isolation, the drop back, and the physical presence that Bayern have, the only way to counter that is, yet one, the passing game that Man City do due to Pep's tactics, and two, the physical presence that they also have to counter um, like Bayern's physical presence. Davies, man, my Canadian boy. However, man, this guy, he really disappointed me because, man, Bernardo Silva, what a player Bernardo Silva was, killing both Davies, Goretzka, De Ligt. There was a part where he got past Goretzka, nutmegs Davies, nutmeg De Ligt. Unfortunately, Davies was able to catch up to him. Of course, Davies, he's of course known for his pace, um, but yeah, yeah. As I said, Bernardo Silva, man, like not his physical, his dribbling, his agility. It reminds me of Messi. And the reason why he did kind of get like caught sometimes was due to yet one, like as I always say, the physical presence. Um, Upamecano, man, this guy was non-existent. Literally, you might as well have had 10 men instead. Literally, I'm not even joking because this guy was like it was coming from across. It was so high above him, and he still jumped. It looked like he just I don't know. He went to Narnia, man. He jumped for no reason. It looked so foolish as well. Another play where he lost the ball. He took too long. Erling Haaland came running in. He crossed it in, and Bernardo Silva was there to get into the back of the net. The Erling Haaland goal. Don't quite remember exactly the Erling Haaland goal. Was this the one where Grealish crossed it in? And Erling Haaland just got the tap in on it. It could have been that. I think it was Grealish who crossed it in, like a low driven cross. But at the end of the day, man, Bayern, terrible. Yeah, I did have some more analysis on the last podcast, so make sure to go watch that. But I just had to do a quick recap here. Madrid versus Chelsea, man. Madrid. I mean, in the first 10 minutes, in the first 10-15 minutes, I was really not. What's the word? Not excited. Really, really nervous. Would it be nervous or really surprised that by the way that Chelsea were playing? I thought I like. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. Like, yeah, I guess surprised. Like I didn't expect Chelsea to play the way they were playing in the first 10 minutes. They were playing pretty decent. Now, that's kind of course to like all teams kind of like in the first like 10-15 minutes of the game, all teams are gonna kind of not play at the best due to them kind of like starting things off. They start to play is like they have to find like the role the you get the engine starting and stuff like stuff like that. You get what I mean? They have to kind of find the pace of the game, get the engine starting. So during that time, Chelsea, I got to be honest, were playing pretty decent. They were playing pretty decent. Um, João Felix, he had a brilliant in the first 2 minutes. João Felix had a brilliant one-on-one against Courtois, but man, of course, Courtois, a former Chelsea player as well, had to stop João Felix. Um, and then yeah, man, they scored the goal. Karim Benzema scored his goal. It was very, very elegant. It's not elegant, but I guess you can say not elegant, but very. It was nice though. Like the way that Carvajal kind of chipped it over into the box to Vinicius Junior. Uh, it was really well weighted, you can say. Well weighted by Danny Carvajal, who chipped it over into the box. Vinicius Junior tried to get the tap on it, but it was Kepa who did block it, rebounds back to Benzema, and Benzema in the back of the net. Of course, you already know. So, brilliant goal there. As I said, well weighted chip, like kind of cross by Dani Carvajal. Brilliance there. And only like several minutes after, like 1-2 minutes after, Chelsea had a really good chance as well to recover from that goal. Reece James down the wing, crosses it in like a low driven to Sterling, and then Courtois yet again. But what a save! That was probably one of the best saves that game as well, because it was a really good chance. Like just Sterling, if no keeper was there, like that was clearly going in, but Courtois blocked it and just went slightly outside of the post. So brilliant save by Thibaut Courtois. And then later on in the 74th minute, it's Asensio who does come out from the left side here, just hits it into the bottom right corner, or bottom left corner. And Chilwell as well in the 59th minute. It was Vinny yet again. Was it? I think it was Valverde this time who they're controlling it well. Chelsea have a high line, like they're up all the way up here in the final 2/3 of the pitch. And this bottom third of the pitch is just free. It's literally free. And of course, knowing Vinny's pace as well, what he's known for is his pace, his fast pace down the wings, and then dribbling. Of course, his dribbling, cutting inside and stuff. One of his expertise, making the run in behind. He kind of comes close to Valverde to open up space here to drag the defender out, and then he makes a run in behind. It's Valverde who does yet again a chip over it, kind of very similar to that Dani Carvajal goal. Runs in behind, then and then yeah, it's Chilwell who grabs his shirt just barely outside the box, almost a penalty, and a red card was given to Ben Chilwell. A free kick was then taken, but of course they didn't score. But yeah, brilliant game by Madrid. As I said, in the first 10-15 minutes, like during in that time, teams have to kind of get the engine, kind of find the pace of the game. And during that time, man, Chelsea, I was like, Chelsea might have a slight chance. Um, but then yeah, after the first goal, I was like, no ways. And man, Reece James, bro, what a finished player, man. I swear, not finished, I guess. Like this guy was getting pocketed left, right, and center by Vinicius Junior, bro. The stuff out the plays I was seeing by Reece James were just something different. But that is that game. Inter Benfica. I won't talk about that because I didn't really watch that game. But AC Milan Napoli. This game really made me see and realize how much of an overrated team Napoli are. I mean, they're still a fantastic team. I think I really respect them because this season is one of their probably their best season. Maradona from the skies above, praying and hoping that they get a comeback in the next stage. Now you could say it was due. I will say that Napoli are overrated. However, they have a chance for a comeback due to them. In this game, it was really against them not having Osimhen. I think that was a huge factor. Um, like I think Osimhen, man, he's really a key player in this Napoli team. Because you can see a lot of the times they're playing very similar to how they do with Osimhen. Is they go down the wing, whether it's like it's Irving Lozano, um, Di Lorenzo, Kvar, Zielinski going down this wing to the edge of the box, cutting inside. But it's players like Elmas or Kvar who are there and just couldn't finish. And that's for that reason. That's why I always say Osimhen is a fantastic one of the key players because of the way they play, where they cut inside. Osimhen is a great finisher, and but with the way that Napoli play, cut inside and stuff, they need that goal scoring strike, the finisher to get it into the back of the net. That's one thing is not having Osimhen. Another part I will say is Mike Mignon, man. Mike Mignon, guys, what a player! The passion. If you see sometimes on TikTok, I'm scrolling on TikTok, and it's like those it's like the players walking out, and you can see like Mignon like yelling and stuff, like the passion that Mignon has, man. He's such a passionate player. I really do think that like France, of course, for the national team, now that Hugo Lloris is gone, they have nothing to worry about because Mike Mignon, what a keeper he is. And with the passion that he has as well, I think he's going to be a great captain for that French national team, like Hugo Lloris was. And on top of that, guys, I will say that I really do think that in the next few years, I don't think AC Milan will let go of Mike Mignon easily, and I really don't think that Mike Mignon will want to leave within the next 3 years. I think he still wants to stay at AC Milan if they continue to perform at top levels in the Champions League. Um, but if they don't, if like Mignon wants a new challenge as well, I will for sure say within the next 4 or 5 years, Mignon will become one of the best keepers and will probably go to a team like Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid. I mean, how old is Courtois? They have to start looking for a new keeper. 30 years old. So yeah, 40 in 4 years, 35 years old. And how old is Mike Mignon? Not that young either. Like 27 years old. Do I see like maybe not Madrid? I don't know, like Chelsea. I could see him going to Chelsea. I for sure like top clubs. I think top clubs like Madrid will definitely want to sign a passionate player. Like I with this Mignon, bro. I swear this guy came, bro. If this guy came from the PSG academy, yes, I knew, bro. From the man, we let go of the best players in the world, man. The PSG B squad. He went to Lille. The second team for Lille went yet again to the Lille's main squad, and then last year or 2 years ago went to AC Milan. And even last year when he on his first season in AC Milan, he killed this, bro. Won them the Serie A title as well. But yeah, talking more about this game, yeah, and I feel like most of the time, like AC Milan really they did well to hold possession, to gain possession back. Like even when they didn't have the possession, they did well to recover, to defend the ball. As I said, I think Napoli are a great team who have connection as well within the team. They know each other, they know their surroundings, like they know each other really well. But AC Milan, man, Brahim Diaz, I think, of course, he's from Real Madrid Academy as well. And AC Milan for sure they should trigger that buy option. He's on loan, but for sure they should trigger that buy option. I know that Real Madrid do want to bring him back, but I think he's having a killer time at AC Milan. It could really hurt them as well, because I feel like he's a key player and he was the one involved. He retrieved that ball back from Napoli, makes that run in the middle, finds I don't know quite who it was on the left side, but I think it was Krunic or Benacer. Benacer crossing it back in over here to Leao, and then I know it was Benacer who scored. Benacer was on this side, so it must have been Krunic. It was Brahim Diaz recovers the ball, makes the run, passes it out wide to Krunic, and then Krunic crosses it kind of back to the other side, like a low driven. Kind of got tangled up within the defense of Kim and this guy here and and Brahim Diaz. It looked like he was trying to control it yet again, but kind of missed it as well. Kind of tangled up in the top of the box. Went to the opposite side of the box to Benacer, the Algerian, who then bangs it into the back of the net. Like the goalkeeper Merritt, he did actually get it with his foot, but then such a powerful strike, it just still went into the top right bin. So brilliant game there. Now, as I said, with the passion that AC Milan bring, like they're really a passionate team. I think both teams are really very like the connection within the teams are crazy. Mike Mignon, what a player in the attack. Rafael Leao sprinting down the wing. Brahim Diaz, he's very talented. Tamori, Kejar, yeah, as I mentioned, Benacer, Tonali. I love these two, especially like Benacer, man. This guy's had a brilliant season for AC Milan. And in Napoli as well, with Kvaratskhelia, with Elmas, with Lozano, with Zielinski. Yeah, I finally know how to say this guy's name. Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia. I don't know if you pronounce this K or not. I'll go with Kvaratskhelia. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Di Lorenzo and stuff. Like both teams have the connection. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, the only downside I see is for Napoli is yes, they're gonna have they will be getting Osimhen back from his recovery. However, I also do believe that like with the way that AC Milan play, they might be playing a bit slower as well because they know they have that 1-0 lead. It might be a bit difficult for Napoli. Napoli will really have to put pressure on AC Milan, and now the problem with pressure as well is it's also pressure is very like when you do some press, when you go high presses, you lose your stamina, you drain the players, as well as it's very easy in the counterattacks, very like counterattack prone, and also they are a man down as well, so we will have to see how that goes. But let's make some predictions. If we go over here, quarter final UCL predictions. Oh, we didn't even make predictions over here, so I don't even know what I was gonna say. Damn, unlucky. Even over here against in the UEL. Actually, I won't talk about the UEL, but we will make some predictions there as well. But yeah, talk about predictions. Let's just go over here and make some predictions over here. So, Madrid, Chelsea, of course, Chelsea or Madrid with the 2-0 lead. Going to Stamford Bridge. That's the stadium, I believe, for Chelsea. So, of course, Madrid are going to win easily. Man City, Bayern, I mean, as I said, the way that Man City are going to be home, I believe. And as I said, the way that they play in they just feed the ball to Erling Haaland, the passing game. Of course, they're a very physical team as well, and a pass and go type play team as well. The passion, the connection. Man City easily win. Now, Inter, man, with them having such a bad season and Benfica killing it in the Liga NOS, I think they're second place in the league. I will have to say that, I mean, Inter have a 1-0 lead right now. So, pretty surprising. Do I see Inter winning? I will be pretty biased here. Oh, they have a 2-0 lead. Nah, Inter are winning. Inter are winning. And they're home as well. Nah. And the San Siro, man, yeah, Inter are winning. Wait, give me a second. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, Inter are for sure winning that 2-0 lead, man. Was pretty surprising because, as I mentioned, with the way that Inter been playing this season, not pretty good, and with the way Benfica have been playing, killing it, but just wasn't it for Benfica. Now gonna be struggling. Now, as I mentioned, a man down. They will have Osimhen back, but the passion that AC Milan have, I will also be pretty biased here as well, because the reason I also want to select AC Milan winning is because, man, I really need to see AC Milan, Inter Milan in the semi-final of a Champions League. An Inter Milan versus AC Milan, a Milan derby at the San Siro. I think I heard something where it might be the last season that Inter and AC Milan will be sharing the San Siro. So it's gonna be crazy if we see a semi-final. And it's not just biased to me wanting to see this semi-final of the Milan derby, um, but it's also just facts. Like, I think with Napoli having a man down, with AC Milan having the passion, the way that they play, they're gonna play slower as well. I think that AC Milan do have a higher chance to win, like a 60 to 40%, 60 to 40 odds. Yeah, that is my opinion over there for the Champions League. Let's just take a look at the scoreline for the Europa League. Just give me a second here. So yeah, Feyenoord actually 1-0 up against Roma. Pretty interesting there. I did not watch this game, and to be fair, Roma were down. Who were they down against? Was it against Ajax? No, it was against Real Sociedad. They drew 0-0 to Real Sociedad in the first leg in the quarterfinals, and then came back 2-0 in the second leg. So knowing Jose Mourinho as well, known for his comebacks. I mean, how good are Feyenoord doing this season? Let's just take a look at Feyenoord, the Dutch league. They're looking pretty decent. What are they? They're top of the league as well. Could be pretty interesting here. I mean, I don't know. When you look at the highlights, like against not highlights, but when you look at the ratings on, I know FOTMob doesn't have the best like ratings, but when you do look at the ratings, like Feyenoord literally killed it against Roma. But at the same time, man, Jose Mourinho tax is pretty real. Um, Honestly, knowing Jose Mourinho, I think we have to stick Roma over here. Leverkusen versus USG. It is 1-1, pretty surprisingly, with this no-name Belgium USG team. 1-1. And oh, do I say Leverkusen are overrated? I'm not gonna say Leverkusen are overrated. I think they are a really good team, and with them being they were at 18th place. I think they were at 17th place once in the Bayern in the Bundesliga, and then Xabi Alonso comes from, I think, from the Villarreal youth team. He comes from the Leverkusen, signed Xabi Alonso from the Villarreal youth team, and it brings Leverkusen all the way from 17th place to 6th place to a Europa League competition qualification. So that's pretty crazy. So I'm not gonna say Bayern are overrated and stuff. So Bayern Leverkusen are overrated, maybe slightly overrated, but I'm not gonna say they're a bad team either. So for that reason, like, yes, they draw 1-1 to USG. You can't say, oh, they're a bad team and stuff. They drew to a no-name team. That still doesn't make them an elite team this season. So I think I'm still gonna go with Leverkusen. Juve versus Sporting. It's a 1-0 lead. For me, yeah, I think Juve, man. They somehow made a comeback, and surprisingly, guys, Juve are actually, I think they're like sixth in the Serie. They're seventh in the Serie A table. Inter Milan are fifth place. No, AC Milan are fourth place with 53 points. Juventus are seventh place with 44 points. And keep in mind, Juventus had a 15-point deduction. So it could be really surprising. That would be the craziest comeback if they've got a 15-point deduction and somehow make it back into a Champions League qualification spot. That could be crazy. I really do think that Juve are back. They're really strong. They have a connection as well. And then, guys, let's talk a bit about the United Sevilla game. Because I saw that game. No, I saw some of the highlights. I saw the I didn't see the highlights, but I just want to talk about the team that, like, I really like Sevilla, guys. Sevilla are a team that I appreciate. Like in FIFA 23, like when I play FIFA, I like to they're kind of like the underdogs, you could say. They're a team that kind of are slept on. And I know they haven't had the best of season. I think at one point they were almost in the relegation zone of the La Liga table. I mean, what are they now? They're mid-table now. They were at one point in the relegation zone. So I'm just looking on FODMOP here, by the way. But guys, United, bro, Sabitzer doing all the work to get those 2 goals in the 14th and 21st minute. And then it's just Malacia who scores an own goal. I think it was crossed in by what's his name? Jesus Navas. Jesus Navas tries to get like a near post like shot, and then it just rebounds off Malacia and goes in instead of De Gea blocking it. Just rebounds in. And then it's Harry Maguire. Now, guys, I know you're gonna say, "Oh my, of course it's Harry Maguire who gets the goal and stuff." To be fair, it wasn't really his fault. What happened, I think it was Montiel who gets the cross in. Montiel gets the cross in, and then it's headed off. Not exactly sure who it was headed off by, but it's headed like back into the penalty, like where the penalty is. So it's just you expected like with the trajectory of the header was nowhere near a good header, but it was but guess who is where the trajectory led to? Led to Harry Maguire, who then went into the net. That is like it's unlucky, but of course it had to be Maguire as well. It just had to be him. Out of every player it could have possibly been, it had to be him. I know it's unlucky as well, but like, damn, that really does suck. That really does suck. Is that Alphonso Davies? Is that racist if I say that's Alphonso Davies? Not him. Oh no, don't give me. I'm just wondering what Alphonso Davies was doing on a AC Milan versus Napoli. Am I gonna get cancelled? Anyways, yeah, that is the Champions League. That is my prediction there. Yes, for Sevilla United. I mean, United also. I mean, what's his name? I'm pretty sure we did. Let's see. Let's just take a look here. United. I'm pretty sure Bruno Fernandes is actually could be out for the second leg. Might be suspended. Pretty sure he is suspended. Take a look here. Okay, Acuna yellow, Anthony yellow. It doesn't really say anything here that like he will be out, but I think because he had a yellow game in the round of 16, he might be suspended for 1 match. And on top of that, even if he isn't, it looks like apparently Lisandro Martinez, the Argentine center back, does have like an injury as well. So that could really like hurt United in the back line, having to play Maguire. I think United will. I don't know. Do United win? I think United will still win, but you never know. You never know. I'm just not exactly quite sure if Bruno Fernandes is out or not. I think if he's out, Sevilla will have maybe like a 55% to 45% chance for Sevilla. And then on top of that, maybe Maguire tax is also true, is also real. But yeah, that is my Champions League analysis there, and my predictions, and then my predictions for the Europa League as well. Let's head over to the La Liga, guys. Man, bro, this game, I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights, and I was mind blown by the amounts. Not only the amount, you see here, 35 shots, 11 shots on target with 6 big chances created. I wasn't only surprised by the amount of shots they had, but by the ways that these shots, these chances were created, man. These were brilliant, bro. One of the best. Like, I was seeing some of the most craziest stuff, and I know Cadiz, man. Half the time during when I watched the highlights, I was like, bro, Cadiz, man, they are lost, man. Like, they did not know what was going on. But like still, you like cannot, like you can't really put Cadiz's, like it still doesn't put like it still doesn't down, like put down um the way that Madrid played and the way that they created these chances. One of my favorite chances this game was in the 18th minute. Benzema passes it to Asensio. Asensio back to Benzema. Benzema back to Asensio, and Asensio with a back heel into the box. He does a back heel into the box. Benzema unfortunately misses. But the way the 1-2, 1-2, as I say, the Spanish pass and go, the way that they play, wow, brilliant, man, brilliant. That was one of my favorite favorite chances that they created. There was another chance. Trying to remember, I think it was Vinny who makes the ball. He gets in through the defense here, and it's actually this Gil guy who does save it, and then it rebounds back to Benzema. This Gil guy kind of came out to the side here to block Vinny, so basically it's an open net. And guess what Benzema does, guys? He hits the top bar and it goes on the line, but it's not in. I'm like, a Benzema, bro, you have the whole net and you hit the bar, and I don't know what I saw. There was another one in the second half where Benzema goes like near post. He tries to go near post. Yes, again hits the bar. And then finally in the 72nd minute, it took them 72 minutes. I think they were at like about 25 shots by the 72nd minute, and finally Nacho, who for some reason up here near in the final third, bangs it from outside the box. A brilliant goal. And then Asensio as well in the 76th minute, who's like over here, does like a low driven to the bottom left, just past Gil, gets it in. But it took them 25 to 30 shots, 70 minutes to score a goal. And the fact that like you could say, oh, 25 shots, they're probably just very bad shots. No, it wasn't, because the chances you saw create were crazy, bro. They were on another level. I don't know if I'll talk about the Premier League, guys. Like, I didn't really watch the highlights, but guys, they were on another level. I'm telling you, the back hill, the 1-2s and stuff, crazy. Now, let's just go ahead, talk about PSG, and then go to the Twitter news, end it off. A bit of a new thing I want to talk about, like try footy tic-tac-toe. But guys, PSG, this was one of the most exciting, not exciting, but kind of like, I was like intrigued games to watch. I really enjoyed watching these. I mentioned on one of my previous podcasts, I think it was either 3 weeks ago or this one 2 weeks ago, that when I watched PSG play, it was so boring, and then I switched to the Arsenal game, and they played, like, the way that they played was more intriguing. The technical, the way that they played the passing game, it was a much more fast game. It wasn't like a slow. They didn't take their time. Those games where they play so slow in the back, man, are so boring. And that's how PSG played like a few weeks ago. And in this game here, man, we played so much better. The connection we had in this game was better. I always mention Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, such key players in the build-up down those wings, guys. Really, really good. Nuno Mendes, man, he had a really extraordinary good dribble. He turned into prime Roberto Carlos, guys. Makes that dribble and then almost got the shot, just went wide. But he makes like a dribble in between here. Brilliant run by Nuno Mendes. Hakimi, towards the end of the game, also had a really good run as well. He's of course knowing his pace. I think it was Marquinhos who sends it down the wing. Hakimi with his pace tries to go near post but just couldn't. It was Samba who saved it. But guys, the goals were brilliant. In the 31st minute, it's Vitinha playing with the ball. No, I think it was Fabian Ruiz playing with the ball here. Passes it to Mbappe. Mbappe to Vitinha. And it's Mbappe who actually is facing his back towards the net. Danso is behind him, and he's asking for the ball, he does a quick turn and shoots it past Samba. So the way that he was able to wait, retrieve the ball, quick turning like with the ball, and then get in the back of net, brilliant. And I will have to say, guys, Danzo and especially Medina, man, probably the best center backs in the league on this season. Later on, when it does come to EA Sports FIFA 23 League 1, League 1 team of the season, I will be talking about that, of course. But I think Danzo, Medina, and Danilo Pereira are my three must-have team of the seasons in the League 1 this season, man. Great players. Especially Medina, man. Like, he goes up a lot as well, like creates chances. And yeah, that was Mbappe's goal. Vitinha, bro, my youngster. I know, like, I wish I expected more from you, but finally, bro, this guy has finally scored a goal for PSG, and it was at home as well. And somehow he misses an open net against Bayern Munich at Allianz Arena. But then, off of a corner, passes it to him, top of the box. He has all the time in the world because he has no one's really like marking him up here. Takes a long shot, like you kind of see the dip on it as well. He scores a crazy golazo outside the box, long shot. I'm like, how do you score that? But you miss an open net against Bayern Munich. I'm happy for him. I am truly happy for him. I'm hoping he develops more and stuff. I really like my youngsters. I know, like, I'd rather have. I know in the last episode I mentioned a lot about Keprin Thuram, about how much of a beast he was. As I mentioned, guys, this video was crazy. Top video. Probably one of my favorite videos in terms of analysis and stuff. So make sure to go watch that. And I know in that video I mentioned that I would take Keprin Thuram 100% over Vitinha. But man, if like at the same time, man, like, I don't know, maybe we keep we get Keprin Thuram, keep Vitinha, and then get like Keprin Thuram over here in this left center mid spot to have both of them, because I don't think we should be taking out Vitinha out. I think if we give him more playing time, he'll learn. He'll start to develop and stuff. So finally he scores his goal, and in the 40th minute, one of the best goals I've seen. Mbappe Messi dribbling past Mbappe. Mbappe with the left-footed back heel, and Messi well weighted, first time shot into the far post. What a back heel 1-2 play. Mbappe and Messi, these are the top players in the world, and that's the reason why we bought them. I mean, I wish we really did that I wish we were doing this how we play today. I wish we were playing like that in the Champions League. But man, we played a really good game. As I said, a really fast-paced game, fast-oriented game. And at first, I was really nervous because, man, the last time we played Lensman was a very scary game. The way that they sent through balls into Openda, man. And it was Ramos and Marquinhos who got sent to the ground on the through ball. The fast pace of Openda. Open the door. Open that door. Get it? So I was nervous, but I think another huge factor that saved us in this game was also that red card towards like early on in the game, by Salis Abdul Samid. I think he's a Moroccan. It was a foul on him. It could have been dangerous, man. Like you can't say, you can debate whether it's a red or a yellow, but you cannot say it clearly wasn't a red card. So that could have been really bad on the injury, like on the tackle he did on Achraf Hakimi. But yeah, brilliant game there. Let's go ahead and talk about PSG news. With the victory over OGC Nice and Lens, Christophe Galtier has won the rights to finish the season. However, it's unlikely that he will remain as a PSG coach for the next season. Now, I don't really care about who our coach is. I don't care. We don't need Zidane and stuff. The only thing I want to see from a coach that we bring is, one, to develop our players, to make our players get better on every training. Two, I don't really care about the tactics. At the end of the day, it's up to the player to perform well. And then three is I mean, yeah, tactics is important, but still, you know what I mean. Like, yeah, he does have to make good subs and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's up to the player. Even if he does make not, even if he does make like a pretty bad sub, that sub, it's up to the sub, that player to perform well. And then three is to bring a motivation and spirit to the team. That's what I really like from a manager, is to develop. And I think player managers you see is Pep Guardiola, who brings spirit and passion as well as development. He's really really good at that. I mean, of course, I think tactically is also good, but for me, for a team like PSG, we don't. I don't really care about the tactics. I mean, I think with the way, like, here's my order that I want to see. I think for my top priority, I want to see from a manager at PSG is one, I think one is connection, like the passion to bring spirit to the team. Two is development, and three is tactics. When you look at Pep Guardiola, one, I guess they already have connection. So I guess one is passion from Pep Guardiola. Two is development, and three is maybe two is tactics, and three is development. And when you look at Zidane, you see one is for sure passion, two is development, and three is tactics. Man, when you take a look at Zidane, bro, you don't. The only thing Zidane brings to the team is passion and spirit. And when you look at that prime Real Madrid team, who cares about Zidane's tactics, man? Because that team was so good, they can make their own tactics. They were like a family. They knew each other so well. They can do whatever they want. The thing that made them even better is because they were motivated, the spirit by Zinedine Zidane, by Zizou. So for me, for a club like PSG, what we need the most right now is one, is the passion, the connection, and the spirit. Two, they bring us, like, they focus more on development. I think like with Vitinha and stuff like that, with Nuno Mendes. And then three is tactics, man. I could not care less about tactics. I could not care less. When you look at Mbappe, man, Mbappe is already a free rolled player. He's doing whatever he wants to do. He doesn't really care, like, to stay central and stuff. He's gonna go out wide whenever he wants. So yeah, that is my opinion. Four recruits from the 2022 transfer window have disappointed, and questions arise over the future of PSG next season. Fabian Ruiz. I mean, I don't mind Fabian Ruiz. He has his games here and there. So I think I'd keep Fabian Ruiz. Renato Sanchez, I mean, if this guy wasn't injured, man, he could have really, like, developed a lot of skills and stuff. So if he had a good season with less injuries, I feel like he can for sure be a solid center mid for us. I will for sure say Carlos Soler is like a waste. He is a waste, and Hugo Ekitike as well, man. Both of these are waste. Vitinha also disappointed, but to a lesser extent. I will for sure agree on that. He's kind of here, like, he's kind of like he's still developing. You get what I mean? And Mukiele is an exception because of course with the injuries he had as well. I don't know why PSG report also didn't put Renato Sanchez as an exception, because he was also injured. So you can't say, oh, he did a bad season. It was because he was injured. He was injured. That's why. My opinion: Ruiz, Soler, Renato are the best midfielders in the world, and Ekatina is better than. Nah, this guy's having a laugh, man. Yeah, maybe I would agree with this guy here. Is for sure get rid of Soler, man. That's what any PSG fan would say. And then it's really, like, I don't know, man. As I said, like, I don't know, Ruiz. I wasn't really. I was disappointed, but not as much as disappointment as with Carlos Soler. So I think I'd keep Fabian Ruiz. At the same time, like, is he gonna get a lot of, like, it really depends on also who we bring in. If we bring in two or three new midfielders such as Kepren Thuram, maybe someone like maybe like we bring in Kepren Thuram and like someone like, I don't know. I think if we bring in Kepren Thuram and like sell, yeah, I think just sell Soler, bring in Kepren Thuram. I think we're fine for the midfield there. For Mbappe, a more anonymous end to the season would put him in a less assertive position to influence the sports direction led by PSG in the coming weeks. A golden end to the season would give him even more strength of this summer's choices. More at the end of last summer, Kylian Mbappe was surprised by the quality of the squad, which was very little compared to what had been sold to him during his extension. The will of the leaders to break up the M&M trio is clear. So what is he trying? What are they trying to say here? Like if Mbappe has a better season, the choices will be different. I understand this part that like Mbappe was surprised. I really do think that last summer, man, we had one of the worst transfers ever. We could have signed much, but we should have been able to sign Skriniar. I don't know why we signed Carlos Soler and Fabian Ruiz when there's so many other better midfielders. But yeah, I really don't know, man. PSG are interested in Victor Osimhen. Bayern have always appreciated Osimhen. Chelsea, Man United are also following the situation. The price tag has not been set for him yet, but it will be a crazy fight for Osimhen this summer. As I mentioned on the last podcast, man, this is an elite podcast. Make sure to watch it. Osimhen is an elite finisher, and for us, what PSG are missing is an elite finisher. You could say right now our striker, our the guy, the goal scoring player for us is Kylian Mbappe. But at the same time, Mbappe does a bit too much. Like I feel like if Mbappe had that player to kind of connect with, because like, Mbappe is a player who goes down the wing a lot, and when he does that, he takes a shot. But at the same time, he kind of also needs someone in the box to shoot the ball in the back of the net. So have that extra like option with him. So I think for that reason, we need someone not other than Mbappe to be that like who's mainly focusing on goal scoring, not like his extra technical stuff like Mbappe does. Lionel Messi is a saga. Lionel Messi saga is entering into important moments. May to June are going to be crucial to understand how Barca can proceed with financial fair play. PSG's offer is still on the table, but it's total standby, and at the moment it's not a priority for Messi. Now, as a PSG fan, in the past past 2 months, I always said Messi out, man. I will for sure say that Messi is a player. I think when you look at PSG games, Messi's creating a lot of our chances. But at the same time, I'd rather have a player who's fighting for the ball. Like such as Kepren Thuram. I'd easily take out Kepren Thuram for Messi. I don't know, man. Like with the way that Messi plays, he's a different breed as well. But at the same time, I feel like if we sell Messi, we're paying a lot of our wage like is going to Messi as well. We can easily split that Messi's wage and sign two solid players instead. Luis Campos has been following Kepren Thuram. I talked about it on the last video. So man, we need him, man. A beast. Thomas Tuchel will not retain Sadio Mane in the summer. The striker is not the typical profile wanted by Thomas Tuchel, and the club will seek to sell him. I swear, bro, if Liverpool go try to sign him back, that will be the most stupidest move I've seen, man. Sell him for such a cheap price after not giving him what he should have earned, and then going to buy him back, man. Chelsea have extended Enzo Fernandez's contract at the club by a further year. His deal is now until 2030, bro. This guy signed a life contract. I really do feel bad for him, man. I feel really bad for Enzo Fernandez. I think if he was in a team like Madrid, he would be really, really good. But since he's in such a bad team like Chelsea, man, yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know if we'll talk about that. Mane. Liverpool could axe 13 players to fund their summer rebuild. So Joel Matip. I don't see the word. I mean, yeah, I think they should let him go. Joe Gomez, let him go. Tishmax, I mean, when he does play, he's pretty decent. Kelleher, man, a legend. I think they have to keep him. Milner, yeah, I think sell Milner. Firmino, he wants to go anyways. Oxlade-Chamberlain, keep him. Nabil Keita, sell him. Who's this? Phillips. I have no clue who he is, but I guess sell him. Williams, sell him, I guess. I don't know. Vandenberg, no clue, but sell him. Adrian, sell him. Arthur, sell him. So I think the only players they should keep here is Chismax, Tissimax, however you pronounce his name, and Kelleher, and Oxlade Chamberlain. I think ballers. They are ballers when they do play. Underrated for sure. But man, like LSG, man, they have no hope for it. Like they do not fund Liverpool how they should be funded. If Liverpool want to win the league, man, not win the league, but if Liverpool want to develop their players even more, like they really need funds, man. PSG are making moves. I talked about him before. Chelsea value Mason Mount at 70 million, amid speculation of a potential Bro, I swear, if Liverpool go ahead and sign Mason Mount for 70 million, I don't know what. Like, then I'll understand why LSG do not want to sign. Did not want to fund Liverpool. I swear, they've been a nuts on him. And then yeah, Roberto Mancini is thinking of calling Ryan Cherky up for the national side, for the Italy national side. The Lyon star has Italian origins on the side of one of his grandfathers. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. I think he could be a baller for France, but at the same time, man, Italy are kind of losing like that attacking, that creative, like in that midfield, man. I feel like you could really bring that Italian midfield. Like you can really start bringing it more alive in the offensive side of things. But yeah, not really. As I mentioned, guys, make sure to watch the last podcast episode. It was really good in the analysis and stuff. Pretty decent today. Let's see what happens in the Champions League. Let's end it off with a quick footy tic-tac-toe. So basically, I know it's not a tic-tac-toe, but let's see how good my ball knowledge is. What you have to do is match it here. Let's go ahead and start off with. Man, I don't know why it has like these ads, man. These stupid ads. Let's go ahead and start off with Felipe Coutinho. Barca Ajax, we will do Suarez, Luis Suarez. Liverpool French, we'll go ahead and do Konate. Liverpool German. Who's a Liverpool German player? Then also, whose turn is it? I don't know whose turn. Turn for, oh yeah, I have to make sure I don't get 3 X's because I want to fill out the whole sheet. Let's go ahead and do Rudiger for now. Pop over here. German, let's go ahead and do French over here. Kante, we'll do N'Golo Kante. Liverpool German, I feel like it couldn't have been any easier. I swear they had a German player just earlier this season. Not this season, but earlier, like a few seasons ago, they had a German midfielder. Didn't they have a German midfielder, man? We'll search it up after if we don't know. Chelsea, Barcelona. Who in the world is Chelsea, Barcelona? I feel like this is the easiest one. I think it's a bit of a not Desai. Desai didn't play for Barcelona. Essien? Was it Essien? Essien played for AC Milan and Chelsea. Damn, my ball knowledge, guys, is so shiza. I thought recently they had one. Maybe not recently. Let's take a look, guys. Let's see how shiza my ball knowledge is. So, Chelsea and Barcelona players. Eto, bro. Eto. Yeah, Eto, man. How did I forget about Eto, man? Cesc Fabregas. Eto, man. Christensen, man. Dembele, what? He didn't play for Chelsea, man. But yeah, Eto. Christensen. I forget about them. Unlucky there. Let's go ahead and put Eto in. Bro, it doesn't even show. What is his first name, man? Samuel Eto. And then German. Bro, not Klopp, man. Not Klopp. Emre Can, bro. Not Emre Can. Karius, man. Karius. I knew. It wasn't a midfielder, but like I was wondering who it was, man. The legend, man. The legend Karius. Loris Karius. That one. But German Ajax players, did Klose, was it Ajax players? Was it Miroslav Klose? Or did he go to Feyenoord? Take a look here. What? He played in. I swear there's a German like attacker, striker. German players who played for Ajax. Unknown there. And what about French? Unlucky there, man. My ball knowledge negative, man. Negative ball knowledge. Let's try one more. Let's try one more and see. Feel my ball knowledge even more. Arsenal under 25. Let's just do like Saka or something. Benfica under 25. Does Enzo Fernandez count? Do you think it's still gonna let me do it? It does. It does. Netherlands Arsenal player. Can I do Van Persie? Arsenal Leeds. But what's his name? Trossard. Did he come from Brighton? I think he came from Leeds, innit? Brighton. I'm pretty sure he did come from Brighton then. Oh, this Leeds one is gonna kill me, bro. It's literally gonna kill me. But isn't Arsenal Leeds like pretty new as well? No clue there. No clue there. Valencia, Netherlands, and Valencia and Leeds, man. They're gonna kill me, man. Negative ball knowledge. Literally negative ball knowledge. Yeah, it's pretty difficult, man. It is pretty difficult. Especially with teams like I don't know, like Everton and Valencia. Oh, like Atalanta. Like, how am I supposed to get Everton Atalanta? Anyways, guys. Yeah, this last video was elite, much more elite. I feel like today we didn't really go into depth about analysis, but next episode, maybe on Thursday. I think Thursday we'll do one with Gareth. I will for sure ask Gareth to come on the podcast to do a talk about the semi-final, because this week we will see the outcome of the Champions League round of 16 or quarterfinals. So we'll see thoughts on semi-final. But for now, stay happy, stay positive, and yeah, see you later. Peace.